Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. As we're talking outdoors for 90 minutes every Saturday morning, based out of our flagship station here, ESPN 790, but now with our affiliates in Brownsville, known as the Brownsville Radio, and then of course. You can go over to Jackson News Talk 101.5, and both of those are streamed 24/7. Glad to have them as part of the Outdoors with Larry Ray team every Saturday morning. And we have tried to hook up with Charlie Holder, our good friend down at Sure Shot Game Calls. He's been one of those really good guys for Outdoors with Larry Ray over the years. And, we talked to Charlie back after the hurricane came through Houston and knocked out a lot of the Sure Shot business for about 3 weeks, and everybody was flooded. But as John Gordon from Avery was talking about the Jensen call and Cowboy Fernandez, that's been around forever.
Forever. And, like I said, Larry, when I was a kid, I'd really only been hunting ducks for a couple of years when we got transplanted to Houston. Mm-hmm. And I went out there, and I'd never even seen a Sure Shot call, and the Jensen double reed especially was the call on the Texas coast that everyone used. So I immediately, of course, I bought one and learned how to use it, and I still got that call, and it'll still call ducks, that's for sure.
So how many calls do you have?
How many calls do I have? That's a good
I want to
question.
ask Ron, how many boats you got?
I would say between 40 and 50, I guess.
And you still got that Jensen?
I do.
Charlie Holder, do you like to hear that when somebody's got one of your calls from 40 years ago?
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'll just one-up that. It is still the call.
It is still the call.
It's still the call. Well, like I said, Charlie, we were just talking about it when moving to Texas when I was a kid. That was, the Jensen was what everybody had on their lanyard. That was just the way it was.
Well, we got Charlie Holder on the line with us now. Yeah, we got Charlie on.
We're making a comeback, and it seems as though, especially the last few years, as we've been pushing this thing so hard, that the Texas coast is coming back with them, and we're very fortunate, and that's the reason that we're still pushing this thing, because we don't want the brand and the heritage and memories like what you just mentioned. We don't want it to go away for the new people coming in.
And Charlie, I know you've been on the company for how long now?
We're going on our 7th year.
Wow, that seemed like yesterday. Probably not for you since everything else, but when you hear stuff like that, and I had no idea. John Gordon is here from Avery. He works for Avery as their PR person, and I just said we're talking to Charlie Holder from Sure Shot, and right off the bat, while we was trying to get you, he's saying that. And and that's one of the reasons when you took this thing over that you wanted to keep that legacy alive, didn't you?
It is. Toxie Hayes with Mossy Oak,
yes.
Founder of Mossy Oak. We got our founder inducted in the Hall of Fame back in, I think it was 14 or 15.
Uh-huh.
And Toxie was there. His dad was being inducted, and he came up to me and he goes, "Your call was absolutely the first call I ever had." And we hear that, anywhere we go. We were at SHOT Show a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we get the calls in, that are from the 50s that were handmade that need to be repaired, and they're still the reeds still work in them. They still work. They just got out of tune like a musical instrument. And so that's the reason we took this project on. And it's been a huge undertaking, a lot of man hours, a lot of money. But like you said, Larry, it's gone really fast for us too, because it's a passion. And we believe in it. Well,
it's really strange because we had Lawrence Taylor on from Daisy right before you, and the Daisy BB gun is legendary, as we know.
That's right.
And then we come right back with the Jensen, and folks around here still talk about it. And I wanted to get Charlie on. We've talked to John, and is an avid waterfowler. Of course, you got to be that if you're going to work at Avery. Seems like.
Sure.
That's it. That's exactly right. With the banded folks over there, and we've talked a little bit about waterfowl. You just got back from the SHOT Show. Tell us a little bit what's going on at Sure Shot.
Well, we came out. The company's been around since the 50s,
uh-huh.
and working on our 60th year. Next year will be our 60th year, actually.
Wow.
And, the company had gone stale for a long time, as you all know.
Yes.
And when we came back on the scene, we went straight back to our roots, and we launched the classic Jensen, just like it was made by hand in the early days.
Uh-huh.
And we brought that back with the old box, and then we launched the triple reed. And then people all wanted to know when we're going to come out with a acrylic call. When are you going to come out with a high-end acrylic call?
Uh-huh.
And we said, well, we invented the double reed and the triple reed, and we're not going to do the same thing everybody else has done. And so we came out with our own rendition of a high-end call, and it's the Jensen 1 back in 2013. And we threaded that thing together, a material that's almost indestructible, the double reed, and we've got videos of it being run over by all different types of vehicles, from a Ranger to a John Deere 8430. And this last year, that call is a great call. It just wasn't loud enough for the guys that are on the windy days. When we get out there in a rice field, or on the deep, on the open water, and the diver, hunters. And so we went back to work, and we pulled out some of the material out of it and changed up our tone board and gave it some more back pressure. And now we've doubled the volume and the loudness of that call, and we call it the Jensen 1-2 for double the loudness. And that thing is just taking off.
It's got
we
that
built
name.
2 years. We built 2 years of it, because to get our costs down, we had to do production for 2 years. And Larry, by Thanksgiving, we'd already sold all of this year's out, and we're already on next year. And so Max Prairie Wings and Rogers Sporting Goods and Amazon and our little dealers, I mean, we just can't hardly keep them in. And it's not because of the marketing. It's just because it works.
Yeah. And we're talking to Charlie Holder, President and CEO of Sure Shot Game Calls out of Groves, Texas down there, and talking about not only the Jensen 1, but now the Jensen 1-2, which produces a double punch of loudness. And I got to ask you, speaking of that, last time we talked to you, Charlie, was after all the water in Houston, and what you guys went through. Now I got to ask you the effect of the duck season down there. What a lot of our people have friends in your area. What kind of duck season did you guys have?
It was a really poor season.
Yeah.
I'll be real honest with you. We had a real poor season.
That doesn't help you.
There was times when we'd go out and we were expecting nothing, and we would limit out in an hour. There was times when we thought everything, the fronts were our way and the wind was our direction and everything was right.
Yeah.
And a shot wasn't fired. So in our immediate area, it was really hit or miss. And but just right up the road, 6 hours, we did some hunting up in North Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And some guys up there, North Texas Outfitters, slammed 4,000 birds this year, and that's 6 hours from the house. And so we went up there and got our feel on them.
Yeah. Well, isn't that something that you have to leave an area that is nationally known producing ducks and go 6 hours north? Now, John Gordon, you hear that, and ducks, they were as fickle as I've ever seen this year. Now, I'm not going to tell you, my license cost $180. I hope my wife's not listening this morning, okay? But so I kind of credit how many ducks did I shoot for $180. I'm not going to tell you how much each duck cost.
All right, Larry.
But that's the way it is. Even around here now, you can say that in this area too, John.
It is. It really is. You you never know from one day to the next, really, even in a great area, what's going to happen. We talked to Blake McWilliams out there. Speaking of Brownsville, we're talking about the new station and everything coming on at Mount Level Estates.
Right.
I mean, when they had some really cold weather, and they were really struggling. Even with all the flooded corn and everything else they had, and then once those birds started hitting that corn, it was absolutely amazing. I was out there at the end of the season, and it was nothing like I've ever seen.
Not a lot of corn in Houston.
No, but
we got the rice.
You got the rice.
Yeah,
you got the rice fields, but at the same time, I'm thinking, and you've been there for a while, and I think you're from that area, right, Charlie? You from
Yes, sir. Born and raised.
All right, so let's think. Hurricane first, and then I see these videos of snowing in Houston.
Yep.
I mean, we complain about our weather up here, but at least there's no hurricane coming off Arcabutla. So we have those things. So you guys really had some unusual weather, right?
It's the craziest year on record. I mean, within literally, within 3 months, we had. I'm 41, and it snowed 2 times in my lifetime at home that accumulated any snow on the ground.
Yeah.
And within 3 months, we had 60 inches of rain, 12 foot of water in some places. Everything was blown out with Harvey, 1,000-year flood. And, fast forward 60 days, and we've got 2 snowstorms that are accumulating 6 inches of snow on the ground. I mean, it's just unfathomable. But you know what? What I like about all that, Larry, is and I know you're like-minded, is it lets people know that the good Lord above is still in charge, not us.
That's exactly right, and it tested the faith of some people, and you're from that. You spent a lot of time in that area, right, John?
Oh yeah, that's where I really cut my teeth. Waterfowl hunting was down there, Anahuac area, all the way across the west side of Katy, down Eagle Lake, all those areas.
Yeah, I know those areas really well. I mean, Inca and Kettawak. What was that again?
Anahuac. Anahuac's on the east side of town.
It's on.
We got an Anahuac National Wildlife Refuge right there in Anahuac.
Exactly, Charlie. I used to go down there, and as a 12-year-old kid to the Barrel Ranch, and Joe Legault's place, man, and it was incredible. I should write a story about Joe.
You should write a story, because you got. I didn't realize we were going to get Charlie and John on here talking about where they live. Like that and everything. But, hey, Charlie, we appreciate you. We finally got to hook up with you, buddy. We appreciate you. All you do for Outdoors with Larry Ray and the Wild Game Dinners. I always get a nice little package from those guys down there that some kid's going to be really happy with some of those presents and everything. Charlie, God bless you, buddy, and we will talk.
You too.
We'll talk to you again. Thank you, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Larry, for all you do for the industry. You got a first-class operation. It's always good to talk to you guys.
All right, appreciate it. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Be right back.